Alright, we have got our patch 6.01 notes for the Endwalker expansion ready. I'm going to go ahead and read through them. We are going to get into all of these patch notes and check out everything they have to say, but just to give you the quick digest, the important stuff, new Chronicles of a New Era quests, you have to finish the Endwalker main scenario to access these. They begin in Old Sharlayan. The new normal raids are coming out. These are level 90 raids. For Duty Finder, you have to be item level 565. There are 4 new raids. They drop tokens just like all the previous raid tiers have since, the beginning of Heavensward. There is new raid gear, of course, with the raids, and this fancy feature that lets you see them from the front and back in the patch notes. And a ton of issues have been resolved. We'll go through all of this now. It is with great pleasure that we announce the patch notes for patch 6.01 are live. Be sure to check them out for a comprehensive list of additions and refinements to the game, including the addition of new items and the new raid series, Pandemonium. Of course, it mentions here Pandemonium Savage and the Treasure Hunt Dungeon, the Excitatron 6000, are scheduled to be released in patch 6.05. That should be 2 weeks from the day this patch goes live, which will be January 4th. Alright, so Chronicles of a New Era quests have been added. These are they start in Old Sharlayan. You just need a level 90 job, and you need to finish the MSQ quest Endwalker, and then from here they'll all chain together. Following adjustments have been made to the instance battle for the quest and from the cold. The effects of Indomitable Spirit status effect have been increased, the initial number of uses of the duty action has been increased, and to more easily locate certain items required to progress in this duty, the amount of fuel concealing wreckage in the area has been increased. So this is the mission that you play through in the main scenario quest in Garlemald, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is the one where Xenos puts you in the body of an Imperial, and you have limited healing. You have to basically sneak around, find Magitech fuel, kill some stuff, and make it back to Camp Broken Glass. Anyways, it seems like they're making that quest easier. I thought that quest was okay. It seemed like it needed more time in the oven to me. It seemed like they had an idea of what they wanted to do, and then the execution just wasn't quite there. I didn't find it particularly hard, although it was easy to get lost during both times that I've done that quest. I had a hard time finding my way around. So it is good that they're making it easier to locate things. And I didn't find the healing to be particularly slim, but I've had a lot of practice sneaking around stuff in Palace of the Dead, so I can see how for an average player that might be a harder quest. Housing, new Orchestrion roles have been added. New Triple Triad cards have been added to the Gold Saucer. The new raid dungeon Pandemonium Asphodelos, I'm not sure, has been added. So these are four new raids. They require item level 565 to enter through the Duty Finder. They drop tokens that can be traded in. It doesn't say here, but I think they will be item level 580. Regardless, these duties will drop different tokens, and depending on which token it is, you can trade in 1, 2, or 4 of those tokens for a piece of gear. 1 token gets you an accessory, 2 tokens gets you feet, hands, or head, and the 4 token items are the body and legs. And completing the 4th circle every week will also give you an unsung blade of Asphodelos. This can be traded in for an item later to get a good weapon, but it's only after you save up 7 of these blades. It also mentions here the elegant tombstones of astronomy will be released 2 weeks after patch 6.01, which again is 6.05, the same day that Savage comes out. The new capped weekly tombstones will come out. Also interesting is that with the introduction of elegant tombstones of astronomy, the number of tombstones required for weapons has been reduced from 1,000 to 500. That's a pretty big deal. It takes half as many tombstones to get a raid weapon, which is going to increase gear progression by a considerable amount of speed. The new raids have been added to Duty Roulette Mentor and normal raids. The item level requirement of Duty Roulette Mentor has been increased to reflect that. Interestingly, they buffed the experience points by completing level 81 to 89 dungeons. I didn't feel like the experience was too low in them, but I'm not going to complain about having to run fewer dungeons to hit 90. The experience points earned by completing Junior, Associate, and Senior Guildship Mark bills has been increased, so if you go to a hunt board every day, you can accept these 3 different stacks of bills. You go out into the world, you kill monsters, you get nuts, experience points, skill, etc. So they've just buffed the experience points from that. That's a good change. I didn't find them to be worth doing so far. Maybe now I'll use them for leveling. New items have been added, so this looks like it is our raid gear. Oh, okay, I see. This is pretty cool. They've got this slider here. You can see the front and the back of the gear. I don't know if I've seen this in any of the patch notes before, but that's a neat feature. So there's the raid gear from the front. I'm not gonna lie, that Reaper scythe looks ugly as it looks ugly, we'll leave it at that. All the weapons are very, very white. But some of them look better. I'm not a fan of the scythe though. Let's see, the following items names have been changed. Beet soup has been changed to wine dark soup. Only affects the item level 533 beets. Okay. I'm not sure if maybe something was misnamed. Maybe there were 2 beet soups or something. New minions have been added, and then system changes. New achievements have been added, new trophies have been added to PlayStation 5, new music has been added, the volume of the sound effects played when successfully completing an action combo has been increased, the sound effect of the Scholar action Broil 4 has been adjusted, combat sounds for Voice 4 of Male Vieira have been adjusted. I guess there was something in there they didn't like. Players can now use the character renaming service even when servers are heavily congested. And then this is always my favorite part, the resolved issues. The following issues have been addressed. An issue wherein accompanying NPCs behave strangely in areas with changes in elevation. They always followed me just fine when I jumped off a tall cliff or something, but you never know. I guess there was some stuff going on they didn't want. An issue wherein progressing to a certain point in the final quest of the Endwalker MSQ prevented progression in the Chronicles of a New Era quest, Gods of Eld. An issue when undertaking the quest Morbid Motivation and Cut from a Different Cloth, wherein completion of a level 80 dungeon via Duty Roulette 50, 60, 70, 80 did not count towards quest progression. An issue when undertaking the quest Seeking Inspiration, wherein completion of level 81 to 89 dungeons via Duty Roulette leveling did not count towards quest progression. An issue wherein Ixal daily quests required the submission of belts. Oops. An issue when undertaking the Battle of Castrum Lacus Latore, wherein the HP of the tunnel armor was incorrect. An issue when undertaking hunts in 6.0 areas, wherein guild ship mark bills did not reward sacks of nuts under certain conditions. An issue during certain fates in Thavnir, wherein spells cast by enemies appeared in the battle log much more frequently than intended. An issue when playing as Gunbreaker, wherein the number of charged cartridges in the powder gauge displayed incorrectly after disengaging level sync under certain conditions. An issue when playing as a ninja, wherein execution of Hallowed no Zuuchi caused the status effects Forked Raiju Ready and Fleeting Raiju Ready to expire. An issue wherein the description for the trait Enhanced Apex arrow was incorrect. An issue wherein descriptions for the Samurai PvE actions Mangetsu and Oka listed Fuga as their combo action, even after learning the action Fuko. An issue wherein the description of the status effect Enhanced Flare erroneously read the next flare cast will deal increased damage. An issue wherein the description for the Sage action Eucrasia did not state that its recast timer is unaffected by status effects or gear attributes. An issue wherein the descriptions for the Reaper PvP actions Bloodstalk, Unveiled Gibbet, Unveiled Gallows, and Grim Swath are incorrect. An issue wherein the graphics of the hairstyle both ways displayed incorrectly under certain conditions. An issue wherein the use of dye did not apply to Paladin's idealized Chevalier gear. An issue wherein job-specific gear introduced in patch 6.0 did not include item level and attributes synced to current job level in their descriptions. An issue in the last area introduced in patch 6.0 wherein enemies that spawn in Fates would attack players even when under the effect of the action Sneak. An issue when undertaking Studium deliveries wherein players were granted experience points when crafting items required for quest progression. An issue wherein the materials needed for the Carpenter recipe Rarefied Integral Fishing Rod were incorrect. An issue wherein certain portions restored more HP than intended under certain conditions. An issue wherein the sale price of items displayed incorrectly when toggling the display of high quality and low quality item details. An issue in Lord of Verminion where certain minion action descriptions stated their attack had a potency of 180 when it was in fact higher. An issue in Lord of Verminion wherein certain Poppet minion actions slowed the movement of enemies despite their descriptions stating enemies in range are bound for the effect duration. An issue in viewing the credits wherein players were forcibly disconnected due to inactivity. Oops. An issue when playing the opening movie for Endwalker wherein audio channels were switched, resulting in improper sound balance. PS4 and PS5 only. An issue wherein selecting Logitech Pro G 50mm under sound settings did not affect audio quality. An issue wherein enabling immersed spatial audio prevented sound effects from playing under certain conditions. An issue wherein certain sounds do not play correctly under certain conditions. We expect sound issues created after release of patch 6.0 to be resolved via adjustments to the sound engine. Other minor text issues have also been addressed. An issue wherein the polygon count of grapes and labyrinthos were reduced in excess to alleviate system memory usage in the area. They have been adjusted to be comparable to those found at the Crystarium. Okay, so they fixed the grapes. A lot of people were complaining about the grapes. Other various issues have also been addressed. And known issues, an issue wherein the NPC Kokobuki does not appear under certain conditions, an issue in Pandemonium Asphodelos, wherein multiple instances of flying text and battle log text appears when certain status effects expire.